right, well, we'll try and get a full body release since we've been cooped up at home, shivering and whatnot. So let's start in child's pose. So big toes together, send the hips back, extend your arms forward, and then bow your chest down. As you bow your chest down, gently pull those shoulders away from your ears and maybe even wiggle your hips side to side. As your forehead rests on the mat, or if it's not resting on the mat, then stack your palms so that you can rest your forehead on something. Begin breathing in through your nose and that big breath out of your mouth. A couple more times, inhaling through your nose, releasing from the mouth. And last one, big giant breath in, let your abdomen expand, feel the lungs fill up with this oxygen, and then exhale, release that breath, sink the hips towards the heels and your navel towards your spine. Take your tongue, lick your lips, seal them to one another, and then start breathing in and out of your nose. As you begin breathing in and out of the nose, notice what's going on with the texture of the air entering. And as it leaves, does it feel warm or cool? Are you straining to draw that breath in? And if the answer is yes, can you just allow yourself to take a cleansing breath in and a cleansing breath out? Maybe you need to sigh it out. Whatever it is for you, take one more big inhale here. And then let that breath go. As you draw your next breath in, keep your hips towards your heels, press your palms into the mat and lift your chest up. We'll exhale and walk our hands towards that top right corner, stacking that left hand on top of the right, rotating the left side towards the right side of the room. Draw a big breath in here. Release that breath, melting the hip towards the heels. One more inhale here. And let that breath go. As you take your next breath in, rising up, walking your hands to center, and then exhale, take it over towards that left side. Breathe in through your nose. Create a little more space by taking those knees out a little wider if you need. Relaxing the chest close to the thigh or down to the mat. One more inhale here. And let that breath go. Then press the palms into the mat, lifting up, walk your hands back to center and find one more child's pose here. As you extend for this child's pose, walk your palms close to one another. Forehead is down on the mat. Bend your elbows and then let your palms come into prayer. Let your thumb start to make its way down to your back. And then press into that left tricep or that left elbow, allowing the shoulder to pull away from the ear for a little more length. Big breath in and a big breath out. And then neutralizing, then press into that opposite elbow. So press into the right or that back of your arm. Fill the lungs up with air. And then release all of that air. And then neutralize, equally pressing into the right and that left tricep. Maybe your forehead lifts up slightly. And let that breath go. As you let that breath go, extend your arms forward, press the palms into the mat, start to lift and rise up into a tabletop position. As you come into tabletop position, wiggle your hips from one side of the mat to the opposite side, letting your head dangle as well. Then come back to center. As you return to center, curl your toes under, slide the weight of the body back to stretch the bottom of the feet. Keep those arms extended towards the top of the mat so they're not stacked with your shoulders, and then draw a full breath in. Sink the hips a little lower as you exhale towards the heels. And then on that next inhale, begin to slide the weight of the body forward. Your shoulders come over the wrist, stretching your wrists. Exhale, slide your hips back. We'll do this just a few times to release the wrist as well as our feet. Exhale, you take it back. Inhale, you'll bring it forward. One last round. Exhale, sitting the weight of the body back. Inhale, rocking the weight forward. And then neutralize the spine. As you neutralize your spine, release those toes from the mat, circles with the ankles in each direction, pressing your feet into the mat, lift that right wrist up, a few circles in each direction, and then place that palm down Left one lifts up, couple of circles. Return that palm down and now point your elbows towards the back, a soft bend of them, tucking the toes under. Take that cow pose as you release your belly down, retracting your shoulders and tilting the chin up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, press your feet into the mat, dome your spine, cat it up. Inhale, cow pose. Stretch from the navel all the way through the crown. Exhale, dome your spine, press the mat away. And one more inhale, cow pose. Elbows are softly bent, pointing towards the back. And exhale, you'll dome that spine, pressing your finger pads into the mat. Inhale, we'll neutralize. As we neutralize, bring those knees close to one another. Curling your right toes under. Inhale, extend that left leg behind you. As that left leg extends behind you, draw the navel up towards the spine. And then if you'd like, extend and straighten your right arm forward. If you prefer to keep your palm down, keep that right palm down. Your choice. Breath in. And then exhale, pull your elbow in towards your body. Inhale, extend the arm and the leg. Exhale, tuck it back in. Inhale, extend and reach. Last time you pull it in. And then inhale, we'll extend nice and long. If you're floating your palm, bring that right hand down, cross the left toes to the right side, squeezing your thighs. Exhale the breath, looking over your right shoulder and pushing through this left hip. Another 2 inhales here. Last one. And let that breath go. Inhale, take your gaze towards the top of the mat. Bend your left knee behind your right knee. Let the knees come to the middle of the mat. Send the blades of your feet out to the edges so that they're resting on the ground. Take your time as you begin to sink the hips back, wiggling right side to left side if you need to until you're able to rest your chest on your thigh. Flex those toes. Press into the blades of the little toes and bow your chest down as much as your body permits. If you can tuck your chin towards your chest, tuck your chin towards your chest. And if not, then keep gazing forward or even take something to lift your body up slightly. Wherever it feels right for you, that's where you should be. Take a full 2 inhales here. Releasing that exhale when you're ready. Those palms come back to the mat if they're floating. Lifting up through your chest, crawling your fingertips so that you can release the hips or the sit bones down to the mat. Once there, align the knees so that they're in line with your sternum. And then you'll inhale, circle sweep your arms up towards the sky. And with those palms kissed, the hands come into prayer and at your heart space. Inhale, pull your shoulders up. Exhale, roll your shoulders down. Inhale, sweep those arms back up towards the sky. And as you exhale, side bend towards that left side. So left hand to the left edge, right fingertips towards this left edge of the room. Keep that right hip anchored down to the ground. Maybe spin your gaze up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. Letting that breath go. And then inhale, press into that left palm. The arms reach up. And you'll exhale, twist open towards that right side. Right hand behind you, left arm along this right thigh. Either using your hand itself or the back of your arm, whichever you prefer. Full belly breath in. And that big release out. Lift tall through the spine. One more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, come back to center. Sweeping those arms up and then exhale, counter twist towards that left side so that you can release the low back. All on your breath in time. Inhale, we come back to center. The arms reach up. We'll exhale, send the weight of the body forward, pushing through the hips, bringing that right knee down, extending that left leg behind us for side plank as we hook the right toes to the right edge and then extend that left arm up. Press through the blade of your left foot, lift your left fingertips up, and then take your left fingertips towards the top of the mat. Take a breath in here. Let that breath go. And then inhale, extend your arm up, lift and float that left leg off the mat. Point and flex the toes or maybe a few circles, whatever you'd like. And then if you'd like, curl the heel in towards your body or the knee in towards your chest to bind. And if you don't feel like binding today, that's okay. But the bind will open up the hip flexor, maybe release some of that area if it's been tight or tender. Pull your shoulder blades together. Send your kneecap away, reach to the crown of the head, and do your best not to collapse into this right shoulder. One more breath in, one last breath out. On your next inhale, you'll release, extending the arm and the leg, dropping the blade of your foot down, spinning your left hand around, rotating those hips. As you exhale, tuck this left knee in towards your belly, step that left foot in between your thumbs. Once there, align that knee with the ankle, send the weight of the body forward, pulling that right hip towards the front, and then inhale, rise up for that low lunge. As you lift up for low lunge, breathe in, and then exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down, press to the top of your right foot into the mat. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, side bend. Left hand to that left edge, right fingertips follow. Full breath in here, shoulder pulls back, opening up to your side. Let that breath go. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands will come down. They'll frame your left foot. Send the weight of the body back so that you can take this leg a little longer. Point or flex your toes. Maybe let the blade fall over towards this left edge if you prefer. Wherever you're at, breathe in, look forward, and then maybe gaze down at your toes as you bow down. 2 more inhales here. Feel the length through the hamstring, and if you need to massage it, massage it. Finalize that last breath in and that last breath out. Inhale, you begin to lift and rise up, returning the sole of the left foot down to the mat, tucking your right toes under, lifting that right knee off the mat. Press through that back hamstring, and then leave your right hand down. Inhale, lift that left arm up towards the sky. Take a full breath in here, sink the hips low so that you can really feel that length. And exhale, release your hand down. Take your time as you slide this left foot to the back of the mat in a downward facing dog. March or paddle your feet out. Notice what's going on with the hips, the hammies, maybe the glutes, even your shoulders and your neck. Find stillness in this downward facing dog. And as we take our next breath in, lift those heels up, roll the vertebrae forward, come into a plank pose, drop down to those knees, squeeze the elbows in, exhale, lower your chest down. Send your fingertips beyond your mat, and then inhale, rise up for that modified Cobra. Take your legs out wide if your back is tender. Relax the glutes so that you can take the pressure out from the low back and instead feel the length. 1 more inhale here, and then you'll exhale, lower your heart down. Inhale, will rise up, either fingertips press into the mat or the palms. Exhale, drop your right shoulder down, look over towards that left side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, drop that left shoulder down, look to the right side. Inhale, returning back to center. And then exhale, releasing the weight of the body back down. Let your arms rest to your sides. Bring your right ear down to the mat. Bend those knees. Then windshield wiper those legs right side to left side. Extending those legs nice and long. Take your right arm, extend it out towards that right side. Slide your left hand by your breastbone. As that left hand comes by your breastbone, pull that left elbow in, and then stack on your right side. So press into that left palm, slide your right hand further to the right side until you're stacked on your right side. Once you arrive there, adjust. Maybe let the crown reach a little forward. And then if you need to bend those knees, you can bend your knees, or if you prefer, keep that right leg long, lift the left leg up, then bend that left knee, pointing it up towards the ceiling and stepping it either behind the right leg, or if you prefer, in front of the right leg. So we're opening up through the chest, the pecs. You're feeling those erectors or that area underneath your scapula. If you ever get a massage and they get into that little area, you have no idea it's tender till they do. So you're just releasing it yourself. Reach through the crown of the head. Do anything you'd like with this left hand. So the left hand can stay on the mat. The left hand can come to your hip, or it can try to reach this right arm as well. 1 more inhale here. And that exhale here. Releasing the arm, left hand to the mat. Left leg stacks on that right side. Take your time as you decompress and roll back onto your belly. Hands come down to your sides. Drop that left ear down on the mat. Windshield wiper your legs right side to left side. Extend those legs long, switching it out. Left arm goes out to that left side. Right hand is now at your breastbone. Begin to slide the weight of the body, sliding the left fingertips out, stacking on this left edge of the room or your left side. Staying here, reaching through the crown of the head. A little bit of pressure as you press slightly into the shoulder, just a little bit of additional weight. Then you can begin to lift that left leg, right leg off the mat, bending the knee and stacking it either behind the body or in front, whichever feels right for you. Your right fingertips can stay on the mat. They can come to your hip, or if you prefer, they can reach for this left arm. As you breathe in, notice the expansion from collarbone to collarbone. You've got one more inhale here. And release that breath. Bring your right fingertips back down to the mat. Stack that right leg on top of the left. Breathe in, and then when you're ready, exhale, roll onto your belly. As you roll onto your belly, your forehead can rest on the mat, or if you prefer the ear, that's fine. Bend those knees, windshield wiper them right side to left side. Coming back to center, extend your legs nice and long. Hands come down to your breastbone. Inhale, plank on those knees to a round or two of cat-cows or hip circles, whichever feels best for you. So a little bit of free range, a little bit of free time for you to do what feels right. So if it's cat-cows, inhale, drop the belly down, lift the chest and chin up. Exhale, dome your spine, catted back. If it's those hip circles, maybe trace them towards the bottom end of the mat in one direction and then the opposite. 2 more inhales of whatever feels right for you. Finalize that last breath in, last breath out, and then find tabletop position. Those knees come together. We'll tuck the left toes under and inhale, that right leg goes back. Draw the navel up and in, protract out of the shoulders, and either keeping both palms down on the mat or extending that left arm forward. When you're ready, draw that breath in, squeeze the glutes for strength, and then exhale, pull it all in. Inhale, take that reach nice and long. Exhale, tuck it in. Inhale, last time you reach extremely long, and exhale, pulling it all in. On our next breath in, we'll release, extending the arm and the leg, bringing that left palm down, crossing our right foot to the left edge of the room. Exhale, look over your shoulder, press the hip towards this right side. Breathe in once more here. Feel that length as you let that breath go. And then keep your legs the way they are. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Bend your right knee behind the left. Walk the knees to the center of the mat. Send the blades out to the edges. Draw a breath in, looking forward. And when you're ready, begin to slide your hips towards the back until your belly connects onto the thighs or until you feel that length in the glute. Keep pressing into the blades of your feet, flexing those toes, and then exhale, finally releasing. Your head can drop down towards the mat, meaning your chin can come towards your chest, or you can drop the chin on the kneecap. If that's too far down, rest on your elbows and find where it feels best. Take a full inhale here and that big exhale. One more, just like that, pressing the blades into the mat, working the weight heavier and heavier towards the back end of your mat. On your next inhale, press your palms into the ground, lift and look up. Take your time as you allow gravity to lift the sits bones, anchor down to the mat, and as you rise up nice and tall. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands at prayer and at your heart space. Inhale, pull your shoulders up. Exhale, roll those shoulders down. Inhale, extend those arms back up. Side bend to the right side. So right fingertips down, extend the left hand towards this right edge. Try to keep that left hip weighing itself down to the left edge, maybe even looking up. One more inhale here. And that exhale. Then inhale, press into that right palm, arms reach up, twist open towards your left side. So left hand behind you, right hand on that left thigh. Keep your body nice and tall. Relax the shoulders as best to your abilities as possible. One last inhale here. Let that breath go. On your next inhale, come back to center. The arms reach up and you'll counter twist, taking your hands and your body towards that right side to release the low back. Look over the shoulder. And if you'd like, take your thumb, anchor it into the mat, and then spin all 4 fingers towards the back side so that you have that external rotation of your shoulder as well. One last inhale and exhale. On your next breath in, come back to center, counter twisting. Excuse me, we already counter twisted. Arms up, and then exhale, hands down to your sides. Use the weight of the body as you work your knee back down to the mat, extending that right foot behind you, hooking the left toes to the left side, or that side plank as the right arm reaches out. Breath in here, breath out. Take your right fingertips towards the left edge of the mat. Align it with your ear. Beautiful, nice work. One more inhale. And that exhale, then inhale, the arm goes up and we'll lift and float the leg off the mat. Stabilize your shoulder, point, flex the toes, couple of circles. And when you're ready to bind, either pull the knee into your chest or just curl the heel in towards your body, reaching back and grabbing. If you grab the top of your foot, you're going to notice that your shoulder has an internal rotation. If you want external for whatever reason, flip your palm up, grab the big toe side instead. Your choice. Send your kneecap away, reach to the crown of your head. Draw the navel in towards the spine to protect our low back. One more inhale here. And that exhale here. Then inhale, release, extend the arm and the leg, drop the blade of the foot down, spin your hand around, rotate your hips to point forward. Take a breath in and lift that right foot off the mat. And as you exhale, pull that right knee into your belly, step that right foot in between your thumbs. All on your time, shimmy as you see fit, but you'll inhale, rise up for that low lunge. As you rise up for low lunge, draw a breath in, and then exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down, maybe shift the weight of the body forward slightly, keeping the hips in line, pressing to the top of your left foot. Inhale, your arms reach up. Exhale, side bend. Right hand to that right side, left fingertips follow. Keep this right knee in line with your hip. Make sure that you can't see your big toe on the outside edge. It should either be invisible or slightly, you could visualize it through that inner thigh. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release your hands, frame that front foot. As you frame that front foot, straighten the leg, send the weight back for that half split. Shimmy the toes forward if you need to, or walk your left knee back. Point and flex the toe, find any movement that you need to. Blade of the foot can anchor to that right side. Just 2 more inhales. Finalizing that last exhale, you'll inhale, return the sole of your right foot down to the mat, tuck your left toes under, stay low, lift that left knee off the mat, keep that left hand planted, and inhale, reach that right arm up. Sink the hips low, press it down, get into that inner thigh as you drop the weight of the body down, and then exhale, release your hand down, step back to meet that left foot in that downward facing dog. March or paddle your feet out, lift the heels up high, drop the heels down low, back and forth, just finding that calf activation, calf release, and noticing what's going on with your feet, building strength, those small little tendons. One more inhale here, and then exhale that breath into downward facing dog. As you take your next breath in, lift the heels, roll into plank, drop down to your knees, and as you exhale, lower the chest and the weight of the body down to the mat. Inhale, rise up for a little cobra, or if you prefer, Sphinx pose. Slide your hands forward, anchor through the elbows and the palms, or take that baby cobra if you prefer. One more breath in, and then exhale, release the body all the way back down. Hands come down to your sides. Inhale, rise up into plank pose, and then exhale, come into child's pose as you send those knees out and bow your chest down. Wiggle if you'd like, massage the space between your eyebrows if it feels good. Big belly breath in and that big release out. All on your breath in time. Inhale, we come back to center. Sighing the breath out. On our next inhale, we'll rise up halfway. And as we rise up halfway, we'll lower ourselves down to the abdomen once more. This time you're going to bring your hands out to your sides and you'll let your left ear rest on the mat first. Now you're going to hike your right knee at a 90-degree angle and then flex your foot. So if your foot is curled in towards your glute, extend it out kind of like a half-drunk frog and then pause right there. If you need a little bit more, now bring your forehead down to the mat. If you still need a little bit more, turn and look to your left side, bringing that right ear down. If you still need a little bit more because you're not really feeling it, anchor yourself onto those forearms instead. So we're getting into that inner thigh. Some people like to walk their body to one direction, but if you can keep the spine neutral, it's better for your alignment versus trying to force a length or a stretch that perhaps your body doesn't necessarily need in that particular area. One more breath in. And that breath out. When you're ready, you'll release down and we're going to switch it out. So take your time. Maybe you need to walk the left toes over towards the right side so then you can bring your right leg behind you or to the back. Bend the knees, windshield wiper if it feels okay. And if you need to do anything with your low back, maybe a round or two of cat-cows, know that you absolutely can. But when you're ready, take that right ear down. Hike that left knee out to the left side. Bring the blade of the foot down to the mat. Keep it at about a 90-degree angle. If you need to move your head, forehead can come down or the chin, or even that left ear instead. Two more inhales if you can. Remind yourself you can come to the forearms if you need to. You might not on this side. That last inhale. Letting that breath go. Neutralizing the gaze. So if you're looking to that right side, begin to look down. Slide the right toes to meet the left side until you're able to release that left leg behind you and then bend those knees to windshield wiper. Come back to center. Extend those legs long. Inhale, plank onto your knees, and then swirl your hips right side to left side. Now, for this next position that we're going into, it's called full frog. I prefer for my knees to be on the mat, so I'm going to turn myself to where my mat is that long width. You'll take your knees out as far as you can. You'll allow the blades of the feet now to come out towards the edges. Once they're out to the edges, take your time as you slide the weight back and bring your forearms down. This is a little more intense. So if it's too intense, stay on your hands and knees, bring your knees a little closer, and then maybe slide your feet to the inner portion of the body. But if you can keep your blades flexed and those toes pointing out towards the left and the right side, you'll definitely get that sensation of release a little bit more. In all honesty, this is probably one of my least favorite positions to be in. But sometimes it's those particular stretches that activate different things that allow more balance in our body. So if that's you, just kind of embrace it temporarily. And if this actually feels really good to you, then enjoy it. If you need a place, a blanket underneath the knees, that's okay too. You're welcome to do that. You're just here, two more inhales. After you've released that last exhale, when you're ready, return your palms down to the mat. Take your time as you begin to lift up. If you were very forward, then you might want to slide your heels in first and then allow yourself to find that grounding. Bring those knees together. As the knees come together, lift that right leg up and just a couple of hip circles in one direction. Your choice if it's counterclockwise or clockwise, and then switch it out. Same thing with the opposite leg. So left leg lifts up, few circles in each direction, and then bringing that knee down. So today I'm going to offer pigeon pose on our hands and knees versus on our back, but know that if you prefer to be on your back, just come down to your back. So today you'll take this right leg and extend it up. Take your right knee, place it behind your right wrist, maybe even walk that right wrist a little further up so that you can sneak it up further. Your left toes are slightly tucked to lift that knee up, and then slide your right foot towards this left wrist until you can release your left knee down. From there, if you have this huge gap, which most of us will and do, and that's okay, you can either take a block, a blanket, or if you have a pillow, you can wedge it somewhere in between so that you're able to have an anchoring. Now, look over your left shoulder. Make sure that your left foot is straight and you don't have this wonky foot going back and forth. If it's too intense, come onto your back instead. But if you're able to stay here, maybe this front leg is parallel to the mat or somewhat parallel. You'll flex those toes so that the blade of your little toe is anchored into the ground. One inhale, looking forward. Feel that release through this right hip. And then exhale, if you can, bow it down. And if you can't, lift back up. Some people can bow all the way down. Some of us, our edge is much quicker, much closer, so we don't need to go down as far. If you feel like you need to rest your forehead on something, you can rest it on your hands. If you have a block, use that. If you're fidgety, take 3 big inhales and 3 long exhales. Just trying to give yourself the ability to release, to find that ease in the body versus that resistance. With the exhales, let yourself melt closer and closer to the ground. It doesn't mean that you're needing to, but if you can feel somewhat that release, then that's perfect. Last inhale here. And that exhale here. On your breath in time, those palms come down. We'll gently release the block if it's underneath. Send the weight over to that right side. And as we send the weight over to that right side, you'll leave that back leg bent more like a little pretzel shake. So I'm just going to adjust where I'm at. Top of the foot on this left side stays down on the mat. So top of the left foot, different angles for you to see. Top of the left foot is there. Bringing the sole of your right foot somewhere towards this left inner thigh, or perhaps just parallel. Inhale, those arms reach up. Exhale, side bend towards that left side. So you're getting deeper into this left hip, but if your hands don't feel right extended, then just bring one hand to the knee and bring the opposite hand, right one to the hip instead, or maybe bind behind your body. So you can also wrap this right hand behind you and feel that lengthen this way, whichever feels right. One more inhale. And that exhale. Then inhale, will rise up. Exhale, pull the heads of your elbows down. Lift your heart up. Inhale, extend your arms up when you're ready. And then you'll exhale, twist to that left side, but the hand is not going, right hand is not going behind you. It's actually resting directly towards your right side. And you begin to bow your chest down. Send your left leg back if you need a little bit more. You're rotating to the low spine. If you need even more, look to the right side. Otherwise, keep looking forward or to the left. Big inhale here. Letting the weight of the body release. One more breath here. Let that breath go. As you take your next inhale, your palms come back down to the mat if your elbows were on the mat, and you'll do a little counter twist as you release towards this left side. Return back to center. Your right hand can rest on the mat. Sweep this left leg around and over. You're coming into a double pigeon. Now, I do want to share with you that sometimes double pigeon is a little intense. So if you have this huge gap, that's okay. Use something to support it, or if you prefer extending that left leg out, that's another option if it's too much for you. But flex all 10 toes, and I'll just demo it with something supporting my left knee. Reach up nice and tall. And then exhale, fold it forward. As you fold forward, your elbows can come forward, your hands can reach out to the sides. It's wherever you see fit. You should be feeling it through the left glute. Just one more inhale. And that exhale. When you're ready, begin to lift your body up. Let your hands rest behind you, fingertips or palms down on the mat. Slide back, remove anything that might be in your way. Bring both the right and the left foot down and windshield wiper those legs right side to left side. And if you feel like doing little rocket kicks because it gets the little piriformis muscle, then you can kick that left foot to the right side and vice versa. Coming back to center. We're slowly going to roll onto our back. We are going to do the other side, but I want you to come onto your back just to release that low spine. Wiggle the body right side to left side and then trace just a few circles in one direction. And then the opposite direction. When you're ready, tuck the knees in towards your chest. Let your hands either rest around the hamstrings or to the sides. Rock back and forth, looking at your kneecaps so that you're massaging that low spine. Keep the chin close to the chest, but it doesn't have to squeeze in. And then all on your breath and time, you'll rise up and either roll over your shin bones or cross those legs behind you, working your way back into that tabletop. As you come into that tabletop position, we'll take pigeon pose on the opposite side. So lift that left leg up, left knee behind the wrist, walk that left wrist up further until you're able to tuck the right toes under, lift that right knee and slide your left foot to the right side. Knee goes back down, walk your weight back, anchor the frame if you need to. By sitting on something or not, flexing those left toes. Inhale, lift up proud. And only when you're ready, without that wonky right leg, you'll exhale, fold down. Use your breath to still the body, to pinpoint maybe one thought. Maybe the thought is relax, let go, be accepting. If you're having those thoughts of, I can't breathe, that means you've gone too far. So lift up, give yourself that relief. This is the one place where we don't have to allow our type A personalities to shine through. We can be a little more mindful if we choose to be so. Just your last two inhales here. After you finalize that exhale, inhale, rising up, removing whatever may be underneath your body, anchoring you, dropping that left hip to the left side. As that left hip comes to that left side, you'll go ahead and cross this, you'll go ahead and leave the blade of the foot down. As we leave the blade of the foot down, let me just adjust. Come into that variation of that pretzel. Top of the foot is down on the mat. As you find yourself anchored and still, inhale, those arms reach up. Side bend over towards your right side. So right hand goes to the right edge, left fingertips reach over. So we're kind of cutting circulation of blood flow on this right knee, as well as squeezing that right hip. Open the heart if you need to. The hands can come behind the back if you prefer. One more inhale. And your exhale. And then inhale, press into the palm, lift those arms up, twist open towards that left side now. Looking over your left shoulder. As you look over that left shoulder, bring both the right and the left fingertips down. Walk your hands directly towards that left edge. From here, extend that right foot behind you if you need a little bit more sensation. Otherwise, keep it close to your body, and then you can bow it down. As you bow down, head is neutral. Unless you need a little bit more, then you can look over that left side. Last breath here. When you're ready, press the palms into the mat, lift your heart up. To lift that heart up, You'll inhale, slowly bring the knee back into comfort, arms reach up and counter twist towards that right side. Inhale, come back to center. As we return to center, find that last position of that double pigeon. So stacking that right leg on top of the left, anchoring if you need it. And if you don't need it on this side, that's okay. Flex all 10 toes, sit up nice and tall, breathe in through your nose. And if you have something handy, it can rest right in front of you where you exhale and bow it down. If you'll keep your feet flexed, you'll find a little bit more length. You can rest your forehead down on that block if you had it, or if you have a couple of pillows you can stack, or even your elbows. Try not to clench the jaw. You've got one more inhale here. And that release. Inhale, you'll lift it, lift the body up, remove whatever might be in the way, slide the weight of the body back, extend both the right and the left foot forward, windshield wiper to release your hips and that low spine. All on your breath and time, find center and roll onto your back. As you roll onto your back, extend those legs up, take a little happy baby. Maybe begin to extend the legs to the sides. And then from that happy baby, those legs extend all the way up towards the ceiling. Those arms reach out to the sides, cactus or T style. Exhale, the knees pull into the body, and then they fall over towards that right side, getting a little twist, looking over towards that left edge of the room. As you take your next inhale, return to center. You'll exhale, release your knees to the left side now. Look over to the right if you'd like. And then inhale. Last time we come back to center, give ourselves a nice giant hug. As we squeeze everything together on that inhale, we'll release. And just for a few inhales and exhales, we'll find a resting position or that corpse pose where the legs can extend to the corners of the mat or the knees can stay bent and they can kiss one another. Just give yourself permission for a few inhales and exhales here to decompress, to find connection and restore yourself. Your breath is natural and no longer needing to be focused on. So just let it be what it is. Taking your time, breathe in fully. Let that breath go completely. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, your wrists and ankles. Stay here longer if that's your desire this morning. But if you're ready to, begin to rise up. Work the weight of the body towards that right side, resting your head on that right bicep. And then lifting up into a comfortable seated position on your breath and time. And again, if you prefer to stay resting a little longer, nothing wrong with that. Letting your hands come to your heart, and in prayer, we'll draw a breath in, closing our eyes. We'll exhale, release the breath, and bow ourselves down. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's truly been an honor and a pleasure. May you each have a beautiful day. May you remain safe. May all the elements in your life be restored. From my heart to yours. Namaste. All right, ladies. How are we doing?
Good. Thank you.
All
It was
right,
nice to
thanks.
have that, like you said, after a week of being cold and
Yes.
yeah.
Good. I know we did some different things just because I think most of us were huddled up. So I was trying to open up our chest. I feel like I was hovered the whole time just because it was cold, but because our heater couldn't keep up. So I mean, we had a heater, but it just couldn't keep up, and I felt bad for it, so I turned it down really low. But I'm glad that you've got your water back on, Tina, and I thank you guys for being here. And if there's anything you need, don't hesitate to reach out. I mean, I feel pretty fortunate that we're in a community of support and givers. So the help is there if we need it. And I know Carolyn feels the same way. I know Olive Road has pretty much been that way, really supportive. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. All right.
Bye.
Bye.